about, we'll go there. So you're ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's our talking heads floating. There's a reason for that. But welcome, everybody. So this is our second episode in the nonprofit and civic organization channel. Mm-hmm. And so I want to welcome back Jean and Patty. Welcome back.
Thank you.
This time, hopefully, we have video.
Yay!
I had to edit the last one that we did, which is fine. We had the audio, so I got to edit it. But now we get to see our faces, although we're not seeing our bodies. It's just our heads. And we have a special guest today. So Sascha, hello, welcome.
Hi, all.
Welcome.
Welcome.
You want to introduce yourself and what you're here for?
Sure. So my name is Sascha Fetter, and my background is market research. I spent about 20 years in the management consulting space. And over the last 2 years, kind of realized how much OpenAI or ChatGPT, OpenAI, and so forth is going to disrupt the management consulting space, right? And I kind of discovered that by way of feeding in an RFP. And what I got back was something that going, good Lord, if the client company had thought to do this instead of reaching out to us, we would have never had an opportunity to quote that proposal and eventually win the job. And that turned out to be like a $75,000 deal. And that was one of many that we've done, for years on end. So that's the size. So that was my inflection point. And then, so over the last 2 years, I've gone about setting up at a consultancy to help, so I can help train folks. And the easiest low-hanging fruit is small business owners, because I think that's one of the major gaps right now. Yeah. Small business owners are left to their own devices in terms of figuring out how to use it for themselves.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the default mode is, well, I'm not going to do anything with it. Until I'm forced to, right? And so that's where I see a role for myself. And my goal is really just to evangelize how easy it is.
Yeah.
You really don't need to know anything beyond the way in which you've used Google. I mean, it's no more no more tasking or time intensive than that. And then to the extent to which you extract value from it is really your motivation to learn new techniques and apply them, as you need them.
So I told y'all when I started that my job is to make sure that the lay people at home understand exactly what it is we're doing. So there is OpenAI. ChatGPT is one of the platforms for OpenAI. So when you're talking about AI, there's AI in a lot of different applications. You can use it in Canva if you're trying to produce really nice looking marketing materials. What we're using today is ChatGPT. And that's just, think about it as a Google and Ask Jeeves. Remember Ask Jeeves? Like you have to Google. So ChatGPT is just one of the tools that you can use. It's the one that I use the most, and I use Canva as well. But today we're focusing on that. And when Sascha and I talked, we had a very long, very excited conversation because he was so excited to find somebody that thinks that this is so important as he does. And so I said, why don't you come on and we can talk to the nonprofit sector first? Because I feel like this is one of those tools that can really help because it's so affordable. Like you can really use this for free, and you can talk about the different ways that you can get involved with ChatGPT. But the time saving, number one, that's really what it is. And the money saving, because you don't have to hire people. You don't have to hire out some of these things. So we said, what we're going to do is we're going to do a live demonstration with a project that we could maybe start with. And then we're using y'all as the guinea pigs.
Again.
So tell us a little bit about each of your experience, if you have any at all, with any type of AI platform like ChatGPT.
I'll go first.
Nothing. So for those of you that are listening, Jean is our complete novice. She has no understanding of ChatGPT at all, and that is what the majority of people out there are. So
well, because being older, I can say that.
Mature.
Part of it, mature. I like that even better.
Yes.
Well, that's questionable.
Learned.
Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's new. It's kind of scary because you hear so many, and Sascha and I talked about this earlier. AI. Ooh, Big Brother's watching. Type thing.
Right.
And it's like, do I want something manufactured, if you will, that I didn't have my hands on a keyboard to do?
Right.
But open to learn.
Right.
So not too long ago, Jean and I worked on a grant, and typically you copy the last grant, but after you copy it for so long, it all looks the same. So, okay, let's put my little toe in the water, put the stuff in AI, and what did it come out with? Which was clearly better than what I had, and what I, you know what I mean? I had to make some minor changes, but so I've used it in that. We've used a little bit of marketing. I've stuck my toe in some emails. I found out that, typing in all caps isn't a good idea. So
you're yelling.
Yeah. So, again, baby toe in.
Okay.
Loved it. Loved what I got out of it. Loved how easy it was, and how easily from there you can save it or edit it or make it sound. It makes me sound smarter.
Indeed.
You can make it sound, and we're going to go into that. It's a lot of what you'll get out of Chat GPT is learning how to prompt it to give you the information that you want. So let's start with something really, really simple. First of all, tell us, are you using the free version? Are you using the paid version? Which one are you using? And how do people find Chat GPT in the first place?
Okay, yeah, actually, good point. So go to OpenAI. Is it OpenAI.com? Hang on just a moment. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you go to OpenAI.com and create an account. Literally, just create an account. If you don't want to pay $20 a month, you can use it for free. And it's actually a very great way to get exposed to the capabilities and the functionality of it for free. If you have Bing on your phone, you could use that because OpenAI is baked into into their browser. So there's quite a few free options, quite frankly. OpenAI provides you the free tier, and that gives you quite a bit of access to it. To the extent to which, and you'll figure out how. I mean, I don't remember exactly the limitations. In part because it's constantly getting more and more. You're getting more and more access to it, right? But it's only $20 a month, quite frankly. So so if you think about it in terms of how much value do you get out of coffee on the go, whatever it is, and how many of those do you need to give up in order to get access to the world's information, literally, and the best thinking partner for $20 a month. Right?
Or if you're going to pay somebody $20 an hour to come do this,
That's
you're paying this once a month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
then the other way to think about it is that this gives you access to experts on demand, or in whatever field, whatever domain you have. And the reason for that is because it has been trained. The technology has been trained on all the knowledge that's available to us, and that's not an overstatement. I mean, literally. All the knowledge has been knowable to us. And then it has a remarkable thinking, if you will, thinking capability in terms of being able to form connections among this point, this point, this point, this point, and that's where you benefit from it. So instead of being a group of 100 experts, you have 1,000,000 experts and you can specify what domain. I want an expert in marketing. I want an expert in grant writing. I want an expert in community outreach. I want an expert, and it doesn't matter. There's no shortage of experts. You just need to guide the conversation and
now,
in the direction that will help.
This is not sentient. So that's one of people's biggest fears. We've seen too many movies. It's like we think it's just going to come alive one night and be like, hello, Gene, how are you? Like, no, that is not what it is. And it does have limits and boundaries. So ChatGPT cannot pull up anything that's behind a subscription wall. It can't if I wanted it to tell me an article that New York Times wrote and it's behind a wall, it'll say we can't access that.
Oh, that's good.
So it does have boundaries on what it can and can't do. But go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, Sascha, if you create an account, the next time you go in, it has some ideas.
It has a history, right? So it does store the history, but it's anonymized, and so
talk closer.
I'm sorry,
that's okay.
So you need to. So it's in your interest to create an account because you then you will have the history. The history is there, but it's not as accessible from every device.
Yes.
So you could have a free account on your phone, free account on whatever device, but they won't talk to each other because it doesn't have a shared account.
So if you go in in 3 today,
and I mean talk. Well, it's not going to talk to each other. But
right.
It will time out too. So if you give it a prompt and you tell it, one time I had it make me the outline of a Sunday school lesson, and I go back in to get it 4 weeks later to get the 4th week, and it couldn't access what it had done 4 weeks ago. So, you can give it you can tell it again, find this conversation. But if I went back to that PDF from before that it created for me, it won't. So it does have limits, but that's okay. It's you just kind of learn. The other thing is it's based on when you use it. If a lot of other users are using it at the same time, sometimes it takes a long time to produce images and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, it's again, we're not talking about iRobot here. These are not.
So there's peak times,
yes.
It's okay. Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's not going to impact you. I mean, it is a very.
It depends on what you're doing with it.
What you're doing, and I guess where you are in the world relative to its access to the servers that do all the thinking.
So, a question, real quick. Pardon the interruption. So, what you said is you had done something 4 weeks earlier. Can you save that so you still have it?
Yes,
but not It's
Yes.
not in the file of
It is.
your
Correct.
account. Okay.
Like if I saved that PDF, I could go back in and access it just like I do any other
Okay.
document.
Okay, good.
But
to
when
know.
I went to go back in to do it, it's like, oh, we no longer have that. But I said recreate it, and it just made it again. So, but it does
if you
remember.
Look here on the
Yes,
left-hand
thank
side,
you.
If you look there. Those are the recent chats that I've had in the last couple of days or whatever with it, and so each one is going to be. Let me open up a different window because I don't want to retype this. I hate typing. I really do.
Which is good because if you use ChatGPT, you don't have to do as much.
Indeed. So as you see here, did I do this here? One moment. Let me go to a different one.
So on the left, you see where it says new chat up at the top, search chats and library. And test project and storyboard development are folders that he started. Okay. So you can actually start a folder to keep track. Let's say that you just wanted to do grant writing and then next year you wanted to come back to that same grant writing. You could start a folder and go back to it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, for example, this was a conversation I had some time ago, and you can resume essentially. So it makes some progress on it, and then it stores it in memory. And if I wanted to start over again or build on this, I could just go to the end. Okay, I'm ready to start. Let's resume from where you left off.
Yeah. Would you like me to audit a specific page? And then you can just ask it again, and it'll pick right back up to where it left off.
Exactly.
Which is tremendously helpful.
Exactly.
Because if you're constantly trying to do things over a period of time, then you the hardest part is me as a human being going back to where I was before.
Right.
Yeah.
ChatGPT remembers all that.
Yeah.
So
the memory is somewhat limited, and that limit is increasing, or it tends to increase over time. Right now, generally, it's about 100 pages worth of text.
Okay.
There's specific metrics around that, which I'm not going to go into, but it's easy to remember. About 100 pages of text. So you can eyeball your chat stream or chat thread, and you can get a sense of where the natural boundaries are. What I like to do is when I reopen an old chat, I say, okay, just to recap, where are we on this? And force it to rethink, basically to reevaluate everything that we've done to this point. Okay, is there anything else that I need to do going forward? What's my to-do list? That would just kind of refreshes the conversation. So much of it is the way in which, and this is something I want to draw your attention to. Dealing with this is no different than dealing with another human being.
That's
honestly.
true.
So you don't need to overcomplicate it. The only difference is that this thing is always nice to you. That's the brilliant part about it.
and it'll give you compliments if you ask it for it.
This is the great thing.
How do I look
about
today?
this,
Oh, you look
right?
great.
So it's pretty easy to become friends with it, I suppose, right? Would not recommend it, but I suppose it is. Right? But the fact is that this person will always pick up right where you left, or this will always pick up where you left off. And if you need a compliment, it hands it out. You're the best.
Is this the best grant that I've ever written? And it'll say
There we go.
it's pretty up there,
Exactly.
So talking about prompts, let's start from the very beginning because that's what we wanted to do today. So go ahead.
So this is what I've started here, and I've specifically kind of phrased it here to be literally as casual and as conversational as you and I are having today, right? So it's not a lot of depth here, and the reason why I'm going to start this way is later on I want to bring to bear some other techniques that will hopefully go beyond these preliminary examples, right?
So you typed this in your new chat.
I just absolutely opened up a new chat. There's a new chat here. I opened it up and I did this. Okay.
So go ahead and read us what that says.
So hi, I'm here with a couple of friends who are curious about how to use AI in their nonprofit. Their current needs are focused on marketing and grant writing. Not sure where I should start first.
That's okay. There's a lot in that sentence, okay? Because what you're telling it is you're giving it context. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know.
No. Go ahead.
But it sounds very. What do you recommend here? Let me just before I forget, because God knows, REC.
OMM.
Thank you. Okay. Where do you recommend that we do first? Okay. So the reason why.
Go ahead. Hold on.
Do you have to start with a question, or if you had just?
You don't need to.
Okay.
You don't
It'll
need to.
just go if you.
Once you go down these rabbit holes, you'll hear a lot about prompting techniques and frameworks and so forth and so on. And yes, you absolutely need to develop some kind of framework. But again, but you don't need to overcomplicate it, right? Okay. Because there's 98 different ways of solving a problem, right? And so in the beginning, it's counterintuitive. It's not in your interest to learn this prompt and this prompt because it serves as a barrier, quite frankly, to most people, right? So what I want you to do is think about, hey, if I'm talking to you and I need something from you, what do I need to share with you so that you have enough context so you can react, so you can respond in a meaningful way, right?
Gotcha.
So that's really all you need to do is think about that, right? And over time, you'll get better at it. So in this case, this is how we're starting. So here, I'm giving some context. hey, I'm coupled with a couple friends. So we're curious about how to use AI in their nonprofit. And I think that kind of conveys what we've covered to date. And we focused on the way in which you'd like to use it, which are marketing and grant writing. That way, we're not asking about how to boil water or how to, feed the hungry. You know what I mean? So some very practical things, right? And then I've also acknowledged I don't even know where to start. And this is what I want to convey. It's do that. Let it know you don't know, right? I need your help. I want you to bring your best. I want you to bring your experts to bear on this topic, right? You could also say, hey, I have this plan, this plan, this plan, this plan. How would you add to that or amend that plan to be better? Whatever it is. But I'm just saying here, I try to keep it as simple as possible.
So you can be specific if you choose to, or you can be very general.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. And this is much better than the way in which people typically use it, which is help me do a marketing plan for my nonprofit. You know what I mean?
It doesn't know anything about your nonprofit. It doesn't know what you're doing there. Like all that
we
stuff.
can add to this later and say, okay, hey, I'm in Grand Prairie. I'm in Central Texas. I'm in Grand Prairie. My audience, and we'll add on this just so you can see.
Right.
Okay.
Any questions? I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over.
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. That's a perfect question.
Okay.
I don't know where to start first. That's exactly a great prompt.
So let's see what happens. Hopefully, we're all buckled in. So
okay. It says nice, and I zoomed in. So it says nice. I love that you're bringing friends into the AI space. See, it's positive. Yeah. Nonprofits can add a huge value from AI, especially in marketing and grant writing. I'm not going to read every single thing, but you can see how it responds. So go ahead, Sascha.
Yeah, sure. So it provides some recommendations. Let me just scroll down here. So let me just scroll down here and just add this for just a moment. Hang on. So pick one goal to start with, which makes sense. So for example, it gives you some questions here, which you can answer internally or now to say, okay, actually, this helps me to decide my priorities, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So for example, if you need visibility, start with marketing. If you need money, start with grant writing. That makes sense, right? If you start with marketing, here's some ideas on how to get started. Repurpose content. So this is, and all of these things we can dip into in a more meaningful way. And I will in just a minute. But I want to just convey the opportunities it presents or the recommendation it presents right away. If you start with grant writing, this is how to get started. And let me get down to the end, and then we'll loop back because I do want your reaction to it. So one thing that is really helpful with is it helps you manage these tasks in bite-sized pieces, right? So you're never really overwhelmed. You're never overwhelmed. This is one thing that I kind of touched on earlier when I said, when I start up an old chat, I say, so where are we? Give me the to-do list, right? So based on what you've seen, what's your reaction to it? And we'll just interact with it based on your feedback.
I love it. I love that. I love what you said based on that global thing, because sometimes you get so busy. And so here's the two things. Which one are you going to focus on? Which is more important? So helping you make that goal, because you can't make everything better today, but I can make one thing better today.
And that's, I think, one of the biggest problems with small businesses and nonprofits is being overwhelmed. And this is one of the ways I found ChatGPT to help me, because I'll go, of the two things that I need to do, which one do I need to do first?
Right.
And I love that it said, if you're trying to do this first, do this. If you're trying to do this first, do this. So
it helps you prioritize and kind of get
focused.
What do you think about it, Jean, having never seen it?
No, I think I'm impressed. I like when you go back up, create a grant calendar, a template, and so I think it's very helpful.
Yeah. So if you scroll down just a little bit, Sascha, to the end, it says, if your friends want, I can share a 30-minute. So it kind of gives you some questions at the end. What do you think you want to do? Now, you don't have to respond to either one of these. You can just give your own chat prompt back. Go ahead.
Exactly.
So question, when you respond, you have to be in the chat box.
Correct.
I presume. And you would go back and reference whatever item that's already been.
You could, or like I'm saying, I'm going to go off the rails. I'm saying, actually, I really don't even understand anything you covered right now.
Okay.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So to be honest, I don't have much experience with marketing or grant writing. How do I start? And I'm really being deliberately vague. I'm trying to take the perspective of someone who's using it for the first time, right? And new to grant writing, and I just want to showcase
what
this
it will say.
This is what you get. Okay.
It, first of all, it validates your feelings. Totally fair. You're not alone in that. So it tells you that, and then it gives you beginner responses. I love ChatGPT. So maybe
could I get your guys' website? Because I'd like to tell it to look at your website. Is that okay? Honestly, if not, that's fine too.
No, it's fine.
Okay. I'm curious. Okay, can you hang on? I always ask if it can do this or not. It always says it can, but I'm just okay. Can you look at
Because if it looks
the
at your website, what it'll
website
see is
and
what you do.
tell me?
Like-
it'll garner that information.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's
Okay.
important to understand not every nonprofit is the same. So the more that you give it information about what you're trying to specifically do, the more that it will understand what it's trying to give you back.
Right.
So y'all specifically, and y'all do several different things.
Mhm.
Drop the link. What did you ask it? Can you?
I said, just could you look at my website? Tell me the extent to which any of these recommendations could be applied to it.
Okay, there you
Awesome.
go.
And so part of my go ahead.
I was going to give you the web address.
Yes, wonderful. Okay,
gpuc.org.
GP.
UC.
GPUC.org.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, before you do anything else, on the bottom, this is your search. So if you want to think about this as your Google search bar, this is what
Mhm.
you're doing. So what does that plus do?
So
Just so
to
people
the
know.
extent that you wanted to add,
And we don't need to
you said-
use
yeah,
it, but
yeah.
just what it is.
If you wanted
Okay.
to add a specific marketing collateral, let's say later on the
Nice.
process,
So that
hey,
already
here's
see-
the flyer we've been using, right?
Awesome.
Or here's the outreach letter we've been saving. You know, maybe have it all saved to a text file, right? Here's the outreach sequence we've been sending to donors, a donor list, right? Have a look at this. Tell me how to improve the sequence. Tell me how to improve the messaging. Here's
Love
the
it.
audience I want to serve. Tell me
Great.
where I've been missing. Tell me why my funding has been capped at, you know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah,
it
that's
is, or
great.
non-existent.
That's great.
right?
Yep. Yep.
You can also connect it with certain applications. You could do that. I think it's personally, I'm not comfortable doing that yet, only because it's a fairly new
Yeah.
innovation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not be the first guinea pig, maybe the 100th or the
Right.
1,000th.
Yeah.
I don't mind, but I want to be the first batch. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I'd like to learn from
Yeah,
someone else's
it's not
errors and
necessary.
mistakes, right? But so far, the fact is, you really don't need to do it today. Based on your use case, you're not going to use it right away,
Mhm.
right? I'll show you. So this plus thing allows you to add files and other collateral directly to the conversation.
So the first little chat when we asked it two things and it gave us all that
Mhm.
information, can I
Yes.
copy that
Yeah.
and put it in
Yes.
a Word
Oh,
document?
absolutely.
So I mean, I
Yes.
can go back
Oh,
here
yes.
or I can
Yeah.
look in my
Do you see down
PDF
here?
or
Do you
Word.
see do you see the copy? The copy. You can copy the entire.
Okay, that's what. Okay,
Yeah, it copies everything above
Everything. Okay,
between
great.
each interaction. It covers. It copies it. Right?
And you can
Thank you.
also ask it to do that for you.
Yes.
Do
Please
everything
copy
that
this.
we just talked about and put it in a Word document,
Yeah.
and it'll do that.
generate that.
Yep.
Okay.
and
Yep.
does
Or-
it require you to say please and thank you? Or
You don't need
Nope.
to.
Okay, good.
You don't have to be polite?
I'm polite to mine, but you don't
Yeah,
have
me
to
too.
be. I mean, if,
Just
All right.
because
There's
it's
actually an
polite
argument
to
that you waste
know.
a lot of resources to please and to thank you.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
need it, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
yeah.
No.
It
Okay.
doesn't. It doesn't
No.
require.
Yeah.
You really are
You're
just
right.
spending out of your own money because you're out. If you're paying for the service, I'm not saying be rude, but there's no need to
Yeah.
please and thank you.
Yeah.
But by default,
doesn't
I
need-
do anyway. But,
Mm.
It's interesting. It'll
Right.
still be nice.
yeah,
it will.
It doesn't have feelings, is what you're saying.
It does not have feelings.
Okay.
It is not sentient, people. It's not sentient.
All
Okay.
right, so I went and added. So it says, yeah, sure, go ahead and let me have a look at it.
Now this will do this occasionally. Tell it what it's doing now. You're giving feedback on a new version of ChatGPT. Response 1, response 2. Which response do you prefer? Okay. It's really just which one do you like the best? It's getting your opinion
Mhm.
about how you want this to it's acquiring new knowledge to make it better and user friendly is what
Yeah.
this is.
Yep. So right now, I mean, as you can see, and also this is also instructive as to give you a sense of how it thinks and the way in which it processes information and makes its recommendations. So all of these things we can save, and actually after this call, we'll just save it and I'll create a Google folder for you, whatever
Okay,
it is.
thank
You know,
you.
That'd be
we'll just
great.
make sure it's
Thank
all
you.
there I can also share this chat with you as well. And so you could do it as a public or whoever you share the link the link with. So even if you don't have a paying account, you can benefit from it.
I think now would be a good time to say that this is what you do. This
Yeah.
is what your job is. So
Oh, sure.
we want people to use you to
Yes.
do this for your specific business because the
Indeed.
goal here is to get all of us more
Yes.
sales
Yep.
and money
Indeed.
or
Right,
volunteers or whatever.
Mhm.
So
Indeed.
you can do this for people later and
I
we'll
can.
drop it where people can
Yeah.
find
Right.
this.
Thank you.
So when it says option 1 or 2, can I choose one or I just look
You
at
can
both
mix
of
and
them?
match. You can look at it
Okay.
and say, you know what,
I like this.
1 and 2, but I don't like section B. I want you
Okay.
I think B needs to be refined to
Okay.
to approach as to speak to a different audience than what you described here. I mean, you could be literally as nuanced or as accepting as you want
Okay.
as you want to be. None
But
of this is
again, it's a
fix.
tool, and you can get off on tangents with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
So just
Yeah.
pick one and move on. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do that too. So
So, what's your take on? If not, I'll just pick one for you all. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just so we can move forward. But,
Yeah, I think just pick one.
But you can see how detailed this plan is already there for you. I mean, it's crazy good.
And it has, it pulls up data, because
Yes.
that's the important thing for grant writing is you
Yes.
need the data.
Right.
So it's pulling up the data that you put onto your own website.
Yeah, indeed.
And Sasha, if you scroll down,
Sure.
keep going, a little bit more. Like right here, it says, write 5 Facebook posts promoting our volunteer opportunities with calls to action. So they'll create those pages, those
Yes.
posts for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can. So we'll do some. We can do that too.
Yeah.
We can do that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, it won't put it into your Facebook for you. Well, it might. I haven't ever done it that way, but you can copy it into your
Yeah,
Facebook.
copy and paste
you
it.
want to manually do that. I don't think you'd want.
And just keep in mind, it's not always accurate. So
Right.
sometimes you do have to tell it, oh, you have the wrong data.
And that's a very good point to make. Is that whatever you get out of here, treat it as your first draft. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't know you as well as you know you or your audience or the customers you serve or the ideals you have or your view on the world or how you want to perceive. It doesn't know that unless you tell it. And even then, it's going to make a reasonably good guess. But you still want to treat everything you get out of this as your first draft.
Okay.
Okay.
And that very much includes logos.
Oh my God.
If you have a logo generated, it will give you misspellings. It might give you 6 fingers on one person's hand. There's all kinds of ways that it can be. So just don't.
It's not perfect.
Right. You have to really check what it's doing. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it does a really good job.
The key benefit from this the key benefit of adopting this technology is that you will never start from a blank page, and been the main issue in terms of what
That's a
small
good
business
point.
owners have. Is that let's say you're running let's say you're an HVAC installer or you're a plumber, a skilled trade. You're running your business off the dashboard of your truck for the most part, right? And so you're not going to have time to think about the nuanced messaging strategies, right? And the way in which you can effectively compete against the other 98 HVAC installers within 14 miles of you, right? And so, but you can be assured that there are people in that space who are adopting it and who are able to outcompete you. And the extent to which you delay beginning will make it more challenging for you to compete further down the road. Right.
That's
so it's
true.
not that AI is going to replace you. It's that it's going to make the person who's using it in a stronger competitive position than you.
Yes.
Right. And every day you get a little bit weaker until one day you're freaking dead. So,
And I
you know what I mean?
think that from the nonprofit perspective, it's basically helping you utilize your funds in a more efficient
Indeed.
manner and to produce more stuff without the time.
Yeah.
A
So
clear
there's-
message.
Yes.
Yes.
And then with respect to grant writing, I don't know the extent you would be able to go into, but I certainly would do it separately. But you can develop specific queries that will say, okay, here's the here's the grants that we think we're a good fit for. Right. I want you to canvas the universe, if you will, and tell me other grant issuers, writers, grantors that would probably be a good fit and a good use of my time to do outreach for them.
That's such a good point.
And then the next step is I want you to analyze their website or their mission statements and compare that to ours.
See if it's a match
How
or
do
not.
we need to tighten up our messaging, our goals, our objectives so that we're more attractive to that grantor, right? And then what's the best way to develop a list that we can reach out to? Who are the decision makers? Where do they live? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook? Whatever it is. So a lot of those preliminary steps can be fast tracked using AI to kickstart that process.
And I think you're so right about our time.
Yes.
We spend a lot of time
Doing these things. Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Googling, give me grants.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
it's a great idea.
Yes. Because it can do it in seconds, literally
Right.
seconds.
Yeah.
It can create all that stuff that it would take you an entire day
Right.
to do.
And so now you're serving in the capacity of a reviewer,
Right.
editor,
Right.
not a creator from zero.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So is there anything on here that you don't know? And be honest, because then we can ask it to explain what it means. Or do y'all pretty much know everything that it's on here? Like RFPs, is there anything in its responses? Because that's the thing is The beauty of the chat GPT is you can be as honest with it as you want. There is no judgment. You're not sitting across from someone that's going to be like, you don't know what an RFP is. Say, I don't know what that means. And I do it to it all the time. I don't know what that means. Tell me. It's like, good question. So it'll give you explanations about what it's talking about. That could be something you're missing that you didn't even realize you'd been missing before. So yeah, but I think it's pretty much self-explanatory, but just again, it's not judgmental. So just be honest with it and tell it, and it'll learn. So go ahead.
If I say I like this response this time, then will it just give me that type response going forward, or it'll still give me two options?
Well, it'll combine it back to where we were before. It's just trying to figure out how you like your responses delivered to you, and what are some of the and so there he goes. He's typing in, I like both sets. What do you need to know about this
scenario to help combine the best of each?
There you go.
Into a single recommendation.
There you go.
Gotcha. So we'll always start with two, and
no, it only does that every so often.
Okay,
it doesn't always, but you can do it. You can force it. Hey, I don't think that plan speaks to me, or subset A, but can you change it up in the following ways and change all the dependents as well, right? So
gotcha.
so that
you can ask for a second option.
Exactly.
Okay.
As many times as you have time and interest in doing it, right?
Now, I want y'all all to keep in mind as you're listening, we're talking a lot during this process, okay? This does not take this long when you're sitting at your own computer doing this. So just understand that the only reason we're holding up is because of how much we're talking about what we're doing. But this is seconds. Like that's the whole goal. So if you're thinking, oh, that just takes too long, it's because you're listening to a podcast where we're trying to explain it to you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So here's some key questions that it says, and this will help you organize your thinking around your priorities. This is why I wanted to do this, to showcase. So these are questions you would eventually need to answer if you're serious about developing an outreach campaign, right? What are your priorities? And then you make it, then you just follow up accordingly.
And it's, I love that question. Is it you solo, a small team, volunteers, interns? How much time can you realistically dedicate? These are good questions that you don't think about when you're trying to start some of these things.
Yep.
What tools, if any, are you using already? What would a win in 30 days look like to you? Nice. I love that. Okay, so now it's saying, once you give me that info to answer these questions, I'll build you a combined strategy broken down by the week. You want to give it a shot? You can either say, yes, please do that, or give it a completely different prompt.
I want to see what it says when you say yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, let's do it. So just give me some answers that you think are relevant to what it asked above.
Okay, so go back. Oh, is that what you're going to ask it, or do you want them to tell you?
It does need a little bit of feedback.
Okay, so give it some feedback based on the questions. What are some answers to those questions? Can you scroll back up again?
Sure.
Well, or if you go,
what's your immediate priority? Let's just do it in sequence.
Yeah, so y'all answer those questions and he'll respond.
Let's do volunteers.
Okay, we need more volunteers. That's your donations this quarter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need both.
This. Okay. And it's going to be 4 volunteers, 2 volunteers. Or just small team?
Small team.
Okay. How much time?
Consistent weekly volunteers.
Okay.
To do the project or to work on this?
To work on this. Yeah.
Small team. Because it's y'all, basically.
Yeah.
And you don't need to answer in complete sentences. That's a time waster. Just give it as much information as you need it to know. Yes. Don't make this tool. Okay. Tools are always good if you use the tools correctly, but don't let the tools use you.
Yeah. We had that conversation.
Yeah. See, he's short and weekly. It knows exactly what you're trying to say.
You guys have social, presumably you guys have social media accounts, Facebook and
Instagram.
Okay. Facebook and Instagram. Do you have any email marketing software?
Yes.
Okay. And just curious, do you remember? Then that's fine if the answer is no. But do you remember? It doesn't really matter.
I believe we use DonorView.
DonorView? Okay, sure. Because what you do is you'll find out a specific action plan for that software.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
So understand that, and that's another takeaway. Again, if there's something you don't know about a process, open up another chat. Say, hey, I don't get this. tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll work you through. Or if you're trying to integrate some software you're trying to use a new software on
That's
your,
such a good point.
tell me how to get started. It's answers. I've used that so many times to
Yes.
help me troubleshoot something that I thought I knew. As it turns out, it didn't. Right.
Interesting.
So anyway.
I was
Okay,
trying to
so
sell
you said
something on
donor view.
Pinterest the other day, and I said I put it on Pinterest and I didn't get any responses. I said, "Tell me why I didn't get any responses." And it said, "Well, how many responses did you get?" And you tell it. It's like, let's try it this way,
And then
and to get the more. So I'm talking directly about Pinterest that I don't really ever use, but it suggested it to me as an option. Now I don't have to learn the entire Pinterest program.
Right, that's
so
nice.
if there's a donor view or something that you're like, I don't feel like I'm using this to my advantage. Tell it what you're using and how you can use it. And you don't have to learn it. You're just giving you ideas, which is great.
Have you applied for grants in the past?
Have we?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Does it
No,
count
ordinarily.
off for spelling, or
It
does
does
it figure
not.
it out? Okay.
It doesn't care.
He's
That's
just
awesome.
typing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without my reading glasses.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you already use Chat? Okay, so yes, we'll say yes, we're using ChatGPT because by the time you get to this, you will.
Yep.
That's a future statement, I believe. Okay, let's see what happens.
It's killing my ear.
You can take it off if you want.
It's hurting my ear ball.
You can hear us talk.
I can.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear us without it. I'll make sure there you go. Is that better? And we're not on the screen right now. It's just the screen, the TV screen. So, but your hair looks beautiful, Patty.
They can hear us. But they
Yes,
can't see
they
us.
can hear us.
So this gives you a step-by-step task list, and it is confined within the hours that we said. We only have, let's say, 4 hours a week or so, right? And
I love that it's changing that
yes,
your
this is what
your
I'm talking
mission
about. Exactly.
into can you focus it to volunteers?
Yes.
Rewrite the same, right? But what does that person
Right.
want to hear? What connects with them?
Right.
I love that.
So you're going to send us this, right?
Yeah.
And an email. That makes
Would
sense.
you pay him to show you how to do this? Do you think that it's valuable to your nonprofit? $100, $200, to understand how to use this. Do you think it's valuable? I
I
mean,
think so, because it's one thing to see it here,
right.
but to be sitting side by side and
Having
okay,
him
Gene,
help
type
you.
this now, type thing. I'm a hands-on learner.
Yes.
Everybody learns differently.
Yes.
But to have that is really,
And this
I
is
think
one of
a
those
benefit.
things I think that's important to, if you're, yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was just a
So,
plug for
so
you.
look at the example. It says, use Canva, which I think you use.
Yes.
Yes, you use Canva
Yes.
and you're thinking about it.
She likes publisher.
Publisher, right. Okay. But in any event, impact stories. So that's a very standard marketing term, right? And so if that's something you're unfamiliar with, you say you can write up in another chat. Tell me what do you mean by impact stories? What is that, right?
Yeah.
And I could do it here, but I don't want to start. I want to focus on this current flow. But at any time, open up another chat and say, I don't know what impact stories.
so you
mean
can have
within the
multiple
context. Yes, of course.
windows, if you
Yes.
will, open.
Yeah.
These are all the different chats he started on the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can weave that you can weave that finding or that information into this thread. Just copy paste or change it up, based on your preferences, and then adopt it going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Here's why I think it would be helpful for charities.
Mm-hmm.
Limited time, hesitancy to try something new. But I think for an hour a day that you would spend training them, they would save
Yes.
so much time that it'd be
Yes.
well worth their investment,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Yep.
And you'd
So
have
this-
consistency, pardon
Yeah,
the interruption, because sometimes we tend to go, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have a consistent message, then that's what's going to resonate with your audience.
Yeah. And this is how I started about disrupting the management consulting space. So this is going to disrupt the need for outside experts because you can become your own expert, right? So to the extent to which you may have paid $25,000 in the past for a robust marketing strategy and implementation plan, right? You don't need to do that for the cost of $20 and time. You get a play-by-play instructions, right? And so where I come in is, okay, so you can use it that way as an amateur, if you will, or you can apply my expertise gained from working with Fortune 1000 type firms and the way in which they played, and we can bring that to bear. I can bring that expertise to bear in combination with this tool, so you benefit from it in at a fraction of what that would be, right? And so you get to play like the big boys do, if you will, right?
Yep.
So when you do a consulting gig, is it an hour, a day, once a week?
It really depends on the outcome.
Flexible?
I'm very,
Okay.
very flexible. It
Okay.
really depends on what the need is, right? So in some cases, it makes better sense to do hourly, but I think it resonates better with folks if we think about the outcome and what you're saving. So if you're thinking about in terms of, this is, I would have ordinary, if I was going to do this for myself, it'd be maybe 40 hours of time. And I would expect to realize this kind of value from it, as opposed to an hourly thing, because I might crank it out in 4 hours and it might take you 40. You know what I mean? So it's just, I'd rather focus on outcome.
So when you sit down with a new client, you kind of talk about what their focus is
Yep.
and what the outcome is, and then you
What
can
are
do a
your
proposal
priorities?
back
Exactly.
to how much time
Yeah.
or cost that would be for you.
What are your priorities?
Yep.
What do you want to accomplish? And then we'll just go from there. And then what's achievable within
Perhaps
that time
Sascha
frame.
needs to have his own show on the business side.
I think so.
I think that's actually not a bad idea.
You are like.
Yeah.
Everybody likes Janice.
Well, I just know how to think about what do people want to
Sure.
see and what's going to help them make more money.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what I want people to realize. What's going to make more money,
The
more
more-
time, more volunteers.
The more time I free up,
Mhm.
or a business person frees up for them,
Yes.
then they can be out there meeting, greeting,
That's
selling.
right.
Yep.
So
'Cause
I
you
think
still have to
that's,
have
and
the-
same with the nonprofits.
Because you still have to have the face-to-face.
Absolutely.
This is
have
not
to.
replacing that.
No,
Right.
not at all.
No.
Not at all. It just it extend. I think I mentioned this to you earlier, so I apologize if I repeat myself. But again, it doesn't serve to replace you. It just makes you better at the stuff you don't already know.
Right.
So it extends your capabilities, your expertise in ways that it was an unproductive exercise for you to do. So you're maybe in the fundraising space and the nonprofit space, your best contribution is the networking and the relationship building. But the mechanics of this, who has time for that? Right?
Nobody.
That's not a good use of
Right,
your time,
right.
right? So why don't we use the technology to extend your
Right.
capabilities in a new domain and leverage that so that you can be better at the relationship building.
That's right.
Well, and I think a commercial for you, Sascha, is a lot of people are uncomfortable and don't know how to make their first step.
Yes.
It's always nice to have somebody with you. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Hold your
This is
hand,
going to be,
yeah.
yeah. I
Yes.
could see that as a great business opportunity
Yes.
for you, be it profits, small businesses,
Yes.
like what you're already
Mhm.
doing. Just the amount of time you could save
Yes.
to make yourself look better
Yep.
and to free up your time to
Yeah.
do what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. So like a session like this, we could walk away with, well, similar to what this is recommending. You know what I mean? And then I'm the one that's doing the heavy lifting in terms of creating the content. And then you have an opportunity to weigh in. Hey, that doesn't look like me. That doesn't sound like me. Could we tweak it the following way? Yeah, sure. Let's do that. But again, we're solving it from the perspective of an editor or a reviewer. We're not starting from scratch. Both of us aren't starting from scratch.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So, or
Yep.
neither of us are starting from scratch.
Yes, it's amazing.
This is great.
Now y'all see why we had a very long conversation about it.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh my gosh, we found somebody that understands it all so much.
On the grant template, this is a great start. So if you have, so this is one thing that you'll be able to use. If you have some grant proposals that were successful for you in the past, we could use that as a template.
And so you plug in that narrative and
Yes.
ask it to redo it.
Yes.
Or make it better.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So there's a thing called, and I don't mean to confuse or muddy the waters. There's this thing called custom GPTs, and what they do is it's essentially the structure, or it includes the framework of very specific instructions for a very specific task, right? So we could create a custom GPT or set of instructions that are focused very narrowly on the best practices around developing a grant proposal that speaks to a very specific or narrow audience that you want to serve or that you want to gain funds from, right? And we create so essentially you can do that at scale, right?
Okay.
So we create an entire framework. This is the task. This is the outcome we're looking for. And then we just start feeding in proposals. And then it'll kick out specific proposals that are written in the way in which it reflects you. And we're not doing this from scratch every time. So
Right.
whereas 4 hours might be a huge time saving, given the alternative, we can upscale that now and make it a 20-minute task. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
again, it compresses.
Because you can insert a file.
Yes.
So we can insert that
Yes.
grant. I don't have to type it all.
Yes.
Insert it. Look at
Yep.
this. Good,
Yep.
bad, ugly.
Yep.
And it rewrites
Yep.
it for you.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So again, we could even do. Let me show you some. I'm trying to think of a quick way to do it fast. Let me show you something. Notebook LM. There's a tool called Google product. If you're not in the Google ecosystem, I encourage you to get started and embrace it wholeheartedly because I really do.
Yes.
Because they make so many things that are truly either free or near free.
Mm-hmm.
And part of this AI, I recommend you do that. Get on Google Workspace, get your domain over there, start using it.
I've switched over from the other
Yeah,
to Google.
Good for you.
So yeah.
Good for you. So what I want to show is. Let me see here. Let me just go back to a couple examples. So Google Notebook is essentially a. Let me think here. Something here that I.
And this is more of a specialized
Yeah.
type application if you wanted to get into all this stuff.
Yeah. So
Maybe we need to make that a separate episode.
I just want to whet your appetite.
Yeah.
So the extent to which you use ChatGPT to feed in. Earlier we were using ChatGPT and we were starting literally from scratch. You say, okay, this is what I need to know. This is blah 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 blah. Right. Notebook LM provides you with an opportunity to say, again, this is what I want to know, but instead of canvassing the universe for an answer, I want you to focus your response on a very specific set of sources. And I want your information, your recommendations, your best practice, whatever it is you have for me based on those specific sources. And that's absolutely critical for business. So let's say we're talking about keeping it with the nonprofit fundraising example. Let's say we create a notebook that is populated with a series of YouTube videos that showcase best practices around grant writing, right?
Oh.
So we feed those in, we treat those as a source, and we say, okay, I want you to examine those YouTube. Maybe there's 10 of them, right? And they're from the world's best experts, at least the ones that have the best audience, whatever that means, right? Okay, but they're the experts in that domain. And I want you to develop a best practices guide for me based on those experts, right? And then to the extent to which you want to weave in another set of sources, maybe it's grant writing internet, whatever, you know what I mean? Maybe there's a website, there's 98 websites you'd like to consider specifically for that. You can upload, you can populate this notebook with those websites as well, and it will create a recommendation for you.
So you pick the sources,
Yes.
is what you're saying.
Yes.
I get to specifically look at these.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then this addresses one of the major concerns that people have had using ChatGPT in the past, which is the hallucinations. Now, over time, it's actually gotten much better thanks to the evolving controls and so forth. And the way they're just better at it. There's less of that now than it was 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. But this further reduces the potential for hallucinations or basically making stuff up on its own. Because insteid of, again,
we're not talking about people
universe,
hallucinations.
Right?
That's what I was saying. You want to define that because,
yes.
I'm sorry for not covering that earlier. So hallucinations in this context is the result of the ChatGPT is always going to come up with an answer. It's always going to come. There is no way you're going to key something in and it doesn't answer. It's always going to come up with something. And the reason why it always comes up with something. Yeah, there you go. Hey, I'm one of the good ones.
Sorry. Okay. Most. I'll say most.
It's always going to come up with an answer. And the reason why is because whereas Google is a search engine,
right?
OpenAI, ChatGPT is a reasoning engine, and it's always going to come up with a reason. It's always going to come up with an answer, and it's based on predicting the next possible word or sentiment that fits what came before it, and does that over and over and over and over. So if we say if you're happy and you know it, most of us know that the rest of that is clap your hands, right? Or Mary had a little. People know the rest of that, right? And so in the same way, or in a similar scenario, OpenAI or the large language model is always going to make a prediction based on what the next sequence of words or phrases should be based on what came before it, right? And so if it doesn't know, it's going to make something up. And it's not necessarily wrong per se, but it's predicting. And based on the information that it had at the time.
Right.
You give them more
Right.
information. This
Right.
is why we said earlier about context. It's going to give you something. And if you give them more context, it's going to be more valuable, more spot on to your
Right.
objectives, your goals, your mission, your whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
So
I've said a lot. I'm sorry.
That makes
Happy
sense.
to
So
read.
when it first started, it didn't have as much
It
information,
doesn't.
so it
Yes, and-
hallucinated
Exactly,
answers.
right.
Now that it has more history,
Yes.
You
And
can
what-
clarify those.
what
yeah.
he's talking about is now it's pulling directly from things that you're telling it to know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
what I loved, this is the other thing that you're not touching on. Let's say that you know that this YouTube channel is really good at giving tips.
Mhm.
Now you, instead of watching, and I'm sorry for YouTube creators that I'm about to say this, instead of having to watch 14 different 10-minute videos, you're putting it into here and it's summarizing everything into something for you. For those
That's
that don't know,
great.
this
Yeah.
is what I use for Rivers. I use Riverside to record the podcast, and it does that. It puts all the transcripts into it for me, and it gives me summaries,
nice.
Nice.
which has
Nice.
reduced my editing to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This
So-
has been so informative. I mean,
Are
this has
you
been great.
really okay? Good, good.
And again, I think the value of having you come to somebody's office is just the apprehension
Yeah.
and you making it look so easy and feel
Mhm.
not scary.
Non-scary, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yep.
So
So can we go back to?
Oh, yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we have about 5 more minutes,
Okay.
and we've been talking
We're-
for an
we're
hour. If
already-
you can
yeah,
believe
no
it.
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's only been 10 minutes, hasn't it?
No, it's almost an
Wow.
hour.
Now you're hallucinating.
It happens. It's not an unusual occurrence.
We're not going to go there.
Yeah. We don't have another hour. Okay, where are we going, Jenna?
Well,
You
is
said
there
you-
anything else you wanted to go back to with your search that you wanted to?
So what we can do, so again, I will share this with you, but this will gives you this gives you a great starting point in terms of where to start and then where to refine the process.
What about the last sentence? Want help creating any of the content above, like your first post, email, or grant paragraph right now? Just say the
Yes.
word and I'll do it with you.
Yes,
do
that's
it
all
now.
you have to do. Do it.
Do it now. So it's saying,
Nice. Look at that.
Step
Mhm.
1,
Jeans was almost as good yesterday.
you don't even need ChatGPT.
I said almost. We can all improve.
That's right.
Love it.
And you can also put it in there. Let's say that you wanted to do a social media post and like run it through ChatGPT and say, what's a better way to
Of
say
saying
this
this.
to get the response I want?
Right.
Because
Right.
that's my biggest problem is sometimes is I'm a good writer, but it doesn't, but writing for different types of social media is very different. So it's like, what can I do to get the best return?
It's the
Right.
call to action.
What's
because
the
you
call to
want-
action?
It
That's
doesn't
right.
matter whether I like it. I want to be sure my reader likes
Right,
it.
right.
And it touches, their heart or
Yeah.
their emotion, and they say, "Oh, I want to go volunteer because that."
Because of that,
Yeah.
that's right. And it gives you hashtags, which is another good one too. If you wanted to start hashtagging
We
your
do.
stuff,
Look
which
at
is
the
the whole
starting-
point of hashtagging.
Look at the phrasing. Want to be part of something meaningful? We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yes. And if there's something, okay, so let's say, highlight where it says when you volunteer with GPUC, you're not just giving your time. Just highlight a sentence and copy and paste it. Okay. And we're gonna say, okay, I like this, but could you
Make it better.
like not even make it better? What you want it to do is say, okay, because of volunteers like you, hundreds of families. Okay, I want it to say thousands of families. So can you change it to reflect that it's a bigger group
Mm-hmm.
to show that you're
The audience is-
or to have food on the table and the support they need to get back on their feet. And that's pretty good, honestly. I wouldn't change really anything.
Yeah,
My
it's a-
point is that if there's something in there that you're like, I don't really think that's touching exactly on what we do or is there a better way to write that? Then our much better in the thousands need your help to refine. There you go. So you're also giving it your own opinion back.
Gotcha.
And I use that now all the time. Like you'll notice in all the stuff that I'm doing, it just helped me create an entire advertising booklet. And I'd say, the channel over 55 channel is not, it thinks it's designed for storytelling for over 55. And I'm like, it's more of a resource channel. And it goes, thank you for that context. That's going to change everything about the things I'm telling you.
Gotcha.
And then I can say, I don't like that you said GP. Is there another way that we can incorporate the word Grand Prairie?
Mhm.
So that once you start getting into it, you start realizing, okay, there you go. Got it. Let's
And
shift
realize I'm
gears.
very worried when I write. I don't know why. So even the way in which I've written it this way, you could say it better, faster. I'm just
Sure,
saying,
sure.
Yeah.
just for the purpose.
So
of,
you said you want it to appeal to a larger audience in DFW area, which that's not y'all's nonprofit, but he's
Right.
just giving
Right,
you an
right.
example.
so just so you can compare and contrast the way in which
Yes,
the messaging
yes.
changes in response to that input.
I
Yes.
love that lessons.
Yeah, I do too.
Volunteers, the heartbeat of the mentor. Yeah. mhm.
Before that little thing that says library, what is that?
Where are you pointing, library?
On the left-hand
left.
side. Right there.
Oh, this is images. Images. So if you have ask it to create an image for you, it'll store it in the library.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I really don't focus on the images. I honestly, it's just not an interest of mine. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
been, I can't draw a straight line with a
yeah.
ruler, and I just
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
it's not
I
a function
gotcha.
I use, but this is where it lives. If you ask it to create an image for you, you could upload a snapshot and have it improve it or whatever. So these are just examples I did some way back, but it's just not of interest to me. So,
Gotcha. Thank you.
sure thing.
So, do you think you want to come back again?
I would love to do that.
I'm so excited.
No, it was great.
It was
Very
great.
informative.
Do you
Thank
think we need to do an episode 2 to maybe continue, or maybe we could bring someone else on to maybe talk about it? I don't know. We can talk about how we can move
Or
forward.
let us bring you in
Yeah.
and do some things internally in our office
Mhm.
and then come back as kind of a follow-up.
Oh, that's a great
Based
idea.
on what we learned today and the hands-on experience, this is what we did.
You could
Mhm.
also apply some metrics in terms of whatever your current numbers are, and you
Our
could
analytics and-
showcase the difference. You know what I mean? So once you've applied these learnings, right?
Is there a way to share? You know how in Canva you can have 2 or 3 people look at one thing?
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Can
question.
you do this for GP chat? Or like I'm working on something and I want Jean to see it. Or she just logs into my
Similar to
account.
the way we're doing it now, sharing a discount. You
We'd
mean
have to
sharing the
share.
same account? You could. I'm sorry.
If I create something and I want her to look at it,
you could share you could share it directly with them, or just share your desktop. You could share this.
and you share it through an email or
You basically create the link to that thread,
Okay.
to that chat,
Mhm.
and then
share
she
it,
can go
then
in and
she
look
can go
at
in
it.
yeah.
Perfect. You know what I mean? When you have
Yeah.
2 people collaborating,
And I believe
we both
you can
have to have an
actually
account
add to
though.
it. Actually, you don't need to have an. I don't think you need to have an account to be able to share. You don't need to have it to share it or see it.
Okay.
No.
The question is, I don't know if you have to have an account to edit that thread.
Gotcha.
I don't. That's,
I would
that's-
imagine
don't
that
know.
for y'all, you would have a GPUC account that
One
both of
account.
you had
In general?
access
Yeah.
to.
Would
that-
And then
okay.
you say, hey, I went in and started a new library or new folder.
Come look at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then each chat you save to a folder.
it saves it
You
for
could.
you.
It says it-
It does it for you.
Mhm.
It does
Do
it
you
for you
does
right
it
now.
ask you what I wanted to name it? Because I can never find
It
it.
gives it a name, but then you can rename it just
Yeah.
like in a regular
Okay.
Google document.
So you
Rename.
notice
Okay.
you're
Right
just
click
Awesome.
and
renaming it.
rename. Okay.
Or if you want to create a specific folder, like they call it projects. So you're doing, let's say, a marketing. You want to create a marketing folder, and all of your content, all of your interactions based on marketing, it lives in its own folder. So then it's similar to the example I gave earlier with the notebook. So you have all that information confined within a specific area, and folders we understand.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So it's
Right.
called projects.
Well, this has been fantastic.
This has been
Great
really
job.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for
interesting.
the opportunity. I really enjoyed doing it, and happy to help anyone I can.
And
So as they say, thank you for teaching this old dog new tricks. There you go.
and then people are gonna be like, Gina's she's like a brilliant person,
Right.
like because you learn all. You're like, I am. I learn all these things from ChatGPT. So, well, good, yeah. And we're gonna have you on to talk more about business, like
Okay.
on the business side, and I mean, because you could really do this with anything.
Right.
So
Well,
right.
that's the
about-
beauty.
Nonprofits with the civic organizations,
Yep.
some
Yep.
of those would benefit as
Yeah.
Is
well.
this where preachers get their sermons?
Oh, that's a
I
good
would
question.
not be surprised. Let me
You
just
probably need to
wow
edit
you
that
with
out.
So no. I'm a Sunday school teacher, and what I asked it to do was I need a topical study about Proverbs. Okay, and it gives me the skeleton. All it does is just say, here's some ideas for some topics for week 1, week 2. I'm not telling it to give me what to teach,
Yeah.
but
But
it's
could you?
I could
Okay, just
because the Bible is a source,
that's
right.
right.
and there's tons of
You could
sources.
download it.
So this is why you need to learn, this is why it's good to always know your original source material too, but you could if you really wanted it to. And
What's
yeah.
your role? Let me just wow you with something.
Sure,
right?
sure,
Let me
sure.
just show you. What's your role
At the company?
Yeah.
Executive director.
Okay. I just want to see something. Executive director. Let's say how many employees? 10?
7.
7. We'll just say 10.
Okay.
Just saying. And it is nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to show you something. Nonprofit surveying DFW. Just say whatever.
Actually, Grand Prairie. If it,
Grand Prairie, sure. No,
Yeah, I'd like to
sure.
see what it says.
Okay, I just want to show you. These are just some formulaic approach that will showcase um,
All the different ways.
all the ways and a number of deliverables that you should be weaving into your practice. And if you're not already, this is a great way to start.
Oh, that's so good.
And to the
That's
extent
great.
to which any of these don't represent your view of the world, you say, you know what, I don't do well. We'll just accept everything as is. But let's just say you don't have an annual program strategy report. We can do as a follow-up, tell me more, how do I create that? So this is where I was going to mention earlier, whereas you would ordinarily rely on experts in that space for outside advice on how to operationalize your business. You don't need that.
Right.
I will show you how to do that. And this is just one way to get there.
And does it do thinking about that? And the reason I'm asking, when some of us were new executive directors, we would call Lynn or call Melinda. Do you have this? Do you have this? And then we'd get it and edit it on our computers to fit us. And one of the biggest challenges, I think, for nonprofits is human resources.
Yes.
So job descriptions. We could
Yes.
put our job description in there and
Yes.
say,
rewrite this. Yeah.
make this better. That's
Yeah,
great.
Actually have something.
Because there's so much, even like small businesses, you cover so much ground. It's hard to be an expert in all of them.
That's right.
So
That's right.
these little things would help a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me show you something. So let me find the HR one. Hang on. I'm guessing fundraising, community engagement. Hang on. Okay, I need a workflow for volunteer reckon whatever. Who knows? Who cares?
Whatever.
We're just gonna pick one.
Yep.
Okay.
Like yours, it even has my name.
It'll give you a structured plan. Oh, go back. Wait, it said something. It gives you a structured plan that you can delegate, repeat annually, and even plug into ChatGPT for automation later. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Because how much of your job is teaching volunteers how to do their job? That
A
you
lot.
can create a workflow for them to just
Oh,
start
yeah.
right on.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be busy.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're not. That's
We're
the
gonna
whole
be
point.
busy.
In here,
Just
getting it
kidding.
all.
Yeah.
We want to
We're
do
gonna
this
be
and
busy
this and this
chatting.
and this and this.
You'll it's definitely fun to play with in the beginning, and then you're like, okay, now I
I gotta
really
get
am
to
going to
work.
get to brass tacks, and you're like, this is so cool. Sorry, Sasha.
That's right.
Oh,
I'll
look at
share
that
this
Google
with you as
Docs.
well. But I'm
Yeah, I
just
love
letting
that.
you know. I think again, yet another reason to get into the Google ecosystem, because the default for a lot of this stuff is Google.
Google.
So,
Mm.
right? Or the default outputs are. But I'm just telling you that this enables anyone with a specific interest to upskill their organization in ways they never even knew
Thought about.
was required or
Right.
possible.
Yep.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
You don't know, right?
Right.
And the fact is, unless you work in that realm, you don't know what you're missing out on, right? And so
Right.
we have, that's a lot of small business. They've never been exposed to how enterprise systems work. Well, you can bring that expertise to bear in size and chunks that are manageable.
Manageable. Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you can extract value from it.
Do I look smarter?
Yes,
you.
absolutely. I think you do. Well, Sasha,
Love
thank
it.
you so much.
Thank
You're very
you
This
welcome.
has
so
been
much.
wonderful. And just like I thought, we
That's
could
great.
talk for another 2 hours about
Right.
it.
We
It's
could.
like, it's so interesting.
Great info.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
Even
Okay.
for us mature ones.
So you'll tell us how they can find you and where they
Yes.
can access you. And thanks again for a lovely episode,
Thank
ladies.
you. It was
All
good.
right.
you.
Look forward to coming back.
And now I'm going to hit stop with the mouse that I figured out that I don't need to walk all the way over there.